No doubt found me so low. Silence sent me a crow. My memories are more alive than I am. I'm haunted by my own mind. I try to walk forward, but I'm not. 'Cause my back is facing the front. Silence, let me hear you grow.
Hi guys, to everyone, I'm Ada from Poison Rock, and today, as well was saying female power, we have with us ZsuZsa from Hellfreaks. It's so pleasure to have you here with us. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great. Thank you very much. I actually had a quite long day.
Oh my
But yeah, I had 5 interviews today. So but I am very happy
You're
to
doing great.
do my final interview today.
So it's the last one.
Yes, but I'm so happy to do it with another woman, because I'm also just talk to guys today. So and I'm always very, very happy if I see and face another girl in the industry.
Okay, so let's
awesome.
Okay, of course we are not going to talk about clothes and fashion. Of course I'm going to talk about your music. And of course I saw, and everyone knows, that in a while it's been released the first single of the upcoming album. So I want to start, let's start up with that. So before speaking about, of course, Hellfreaks and all the story behind it. So Weeping Willow, out on March the 15th from the album Pitch Black Sunset. It's, I don't know, I like the words, they chose the name. It's really like interesting, this choice. What can you say about the single that's been released? That it has been released.
It is. Oh my God! There's so much to talk about it. Let's start by the name, because no one asked me about the name. So
I'm gonna ask you
with the name.
Weeping Willow. It's beautiful. It's almost
Weeping Willow.
Like romantic, melancholic.
Yes. But it is a very melancholic song.
Oh.
So Weeping Willow, it is. So the funny thing is that if you translate Weeping Willow to the Hungarian language, if I would translate it word by word to Hungarian, it would mean that it's a sad tree type. It's actually a sad tree. So
sad tree, yes.
It's a sad tree. And because back then, when I came up with the idea that I want to make a song about mental health,
that's an important topic. Oh my God.
It is an important topic, and somehow my main inspiration came from quite far, but it's actually, maybe you know the song from Hunger Game, The Hanging Tree.
Yeah, of course.
This was somehow my first inspiration, and this is how the whole thing started in my head. So because of that, I wanted to have a name that relates to a tree somehow, you know?
Yeah.
And so the song itself, it is about mental health, it is about depression, and it's also a very special song because normally we write all the songs based. So first we always write the instrumental part. And after, when the instrumental part and the structure of the song is almost ready, only then I start first figuring out the vocal melodies, and the last thing is putting on the lyrics. So it's often the whole song is ready.
Okay.
And I still have no idea what to talk about in the song. This can happen. But with Weeping Willow, it was totally different.
Yeah.
I knew what I wanted to say. I knew the words. I knew the lyrics. I knew what exact vocal melody I want to use. And when all this was finalized, only after that, Gabi, our bass player, started to work out the instrumental part of it. So the song is different in so many ways. Like, it couldn't be more different than it is.
Of course. And it will be come out as well with the video clip.
Yes. Yes, also the video is very special because the concept of the video is also came out of my crazy head, and it was a very difficult and a very hard video shoot. It was, well, we did it in 2 days, but the funny thing is, the funny thing is that I mean, I think the result is amazing. I love the video, but you have no idea how much I suffered to do these scenes. You know, there are scenes where I'm covered in blood from toe to head. And even though I think it looked, I mean, if blood can look amazing, it looks amazing. But the thing, it was sticking. It was
itchy.
Itchy. It was. And you know, I had to crawl on the floor, and the floor was full dirt and full with little stones. So I had a million of little wounds after it.
Oh my!
Then there is a scene when they. It is very, the whole video is very metaphorical, and there is a crow in the video which is personalized, and this crow represents depression. And there is a scene where depression is choking me and pushing me underwater till I don't breathe. And we really had to do this scene, and it was very terrifying to get choked and to get like pushed under the water with like, and it had to look real, you know. So it had to look real. So it was kind of scary, and I was and I was freezing, and it took so long, and I was like,
But I guess the result is gonna be stunning because
it's full with these little details that made the difference. But it was worth it, you know. No pain, no gain, as it said. So,
I mean, it's worth it. And of course, I think speaking about the Weeping Willow, you mentioned mental health. So I don't want to assume, but I want to ask if in the following album, will have this topic as well.
You know,
can you say?
I never know. No, it's like. For this, like, actually, Full Pitch Black Sunset is it's a very honest scan of my brain, and I'm not making a secret of it because my lyrics are about these thoughts. Some thoughts are very dark and terrifying, and yes, it's also about anxiety, and it's about depression, and it's about the fear of losing my loved ones. It's about a lot of shit. So I think.
It's important topics for nowadays.
It is an important topic, and I do believe that the magic of underground music is in honesty, and I think that it can only work if we are very honest. And I think that a lot of people listen to this type of music because they know that this is the safe place where you can be who you are.
I love that this word, a safe place. You're completely right. You're completely right.
And you know, it's for me why I'm doing this whole thing, and the most important thing for me is that when I know that people listen to my songs or listen to our songs, listen to read the lyrics, and they can relate to that, and they know that they feel the same and that they are not alone because others are going through the same shit. And it is I had even with God on the Run, I received so many emails from fans who said that they have been through the wildest shit, really, like so sad stories that you're reading the stories with a tear in your eyes, and you can't imagine that these people are still here. And then they are telling me that they are here because they listened to the Hellfreaks and it helped them so much.
Yeah, because and when people like you, with musicians, a storyteller like you, that people can identify and as well heal because they don't feel alone. Yeah,
exactly. So for me, this is like the most important point, and that's why I am absolutely not afraid to be very honest in my lyrics and even show sides of me that are very private, because I see this is a very huge value, and I know that with this honesty I can give something to people, and they can I can help them in a way that I would never be able to do in any other way.
Exactly, as well, yes. And of course, as well, being you like such a, of course, the background of the band is amazing, is impressive. I really went through all the discography. You can say this union between punk and metal, it's something that you can maybe this other band did it, but actually in the being underground and being honest, never been done. So it's like you're the pioneer of that. How does it feel? I mean,
Thank you.
No, that's for what I say after 200 interviews. What I mean, how does it born? How it started like this collision with the punk and metal?
Yeah, it is. It is so more natural than what you expect, because you know I'm always telling this to everybody that I think that I was a very typical scene kid, because you know when I first got into rock music and underground rock music, it was the first that I met was punk music, because I was also a very pissed off teenager, and punk music was the place to go with that.
Right.
It helped me. I found my people, I found my community, I found where I belong. Later on, I found to hardcore, especially to old school hardcore. And then later on, I found to rockabilly and to psychobilly and to metal music.
All the genre.
You know, as I grew up, I met all these different type of genres, and I learned that they are all awesome and they are all fun and a good thing. And
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And
and that's what you can, I think. And you know, like later on, the guys who are in the Hellfreaks, they went through the same. They also had they also met the different kind of genres. They also loved it. They also been part of the scene, are part of the scene. So I am surrounded with people who are very open-minded and who are like me. So for us, the mix of punk and metal, it is so naturally, because that's the way how we grew up, and that's what we like. Like, so you know, we are in love with the attitude of punk music, but I think that there is no other genre than metal music where you can express your honest feelings in so many different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
It is,
and exploring as well, in the video and the lyrics as well,
Yes, and I really do believe that the metal genre, has almost no limits. You can do so different stuff with that. It is so exciting.
Yes, and of course from the first album, Hell's with Hell, since the last one, what did you see like as difference? Because of course they were at the beginning. How does it like if you could make your own small journey? How you can like say it like in your own words? And what as well an adjective for Hellfreaks from you?
It is you know, everything changed. Like everything changed. There is not one single thing that I can compare to from the first album to the last album. Nothing. You know, I mean, of course, we are here. We're doing this since 14 years. That's a lot. When I started the band, I was still a teenager or a young adult. I was a student. I had no money. It was all of, you know, back then, if anyone would have told me that this band is going to still not just part of my life, but it's going to be such an important part of my life, I would think that he's an idiot, you know? I would never believe that. So when we started, there were no big plans. It was just a hobby and not more. And we also made, like, you know, thinking back then, of course I would change so much. And there are things that I hate to see that they are forever on the internet, just because it was the very beginning, you know?
They tell the story as well.
Yes, but on the other side, I know I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't have done these things back then. So it all makes sense.
Yes.
On the other hand, it's important to mention that I am the last former band member.
Okay.
All my bandmates changed. And the guys I am surrounded with right now, since the last few years, there are so professional musicians. Like actually I'm the one who is honored to be surrounded by guys like this, because they are very, very professional, and I never thought that I can work with people like they are. So it is a whole different game, because now of course we're taking it so much serious. And also what about the lyrics, about the vocals, not lyrics, vocals. When I started singing, I had no idea what I have to do. I had no singing lessons, because I had no money for singing lessons, you know. And now I'm going
your voice is stunning. Your voice is stunning since the beginning.
No.
Yeah, it's amazing. For being a woman in the music scene, because I don't want to say metal scene, because a woman in a music scene, your voice is one of the most powerful. Really, it's like you eat the scene. Really, like it's like you belong on the stage. Like really.
Thank you so much.
It's true, and I'm not the only one to say it, because I think there are a lot of fans of yours saying as well, and even people that didn't know you just show a video of you. Who is this woman? The voice. It's true.
But you know, it's like I'm always saying that I feel like I am absolutely not talented. I wasn't born with any talent for singing. I was fighting for everything that I learned so hard and so long. There are some techniques that took me ages, like especially the screaming techniques that you can hear now on Pitch Black Sunset. I know that there are guys out there, like my male colleagues, who can learn this shit in a week, you know, because they have like it's a different placement in their throat, and for me it
was
like
hard.
I don't know, it's like 3 years till I could like okay, now this is false chord, this is fry, now I get it.
But at least you as well, being one of the, especially not contemporary artists, aspirant female contemporary artists, is important, because you gave to all these young girls outside a role, just to be themselves, to just don't give a fuck about the society. So just it's important. It's important. And
I can clearly remember when I was around 16 years old, and that was the time when I was like very actively going to hardcore shows. And you know, back then, I don't know if it changed actually here in Hungary, but back then it was very much, whenever a girl showed up in the scene, it was just like, oh, she's the girlfriend of
you're this. Oh my god, you're right.
She's not part of it, she's just the girlfriend of whoever.
She's the girlfriend, she's the wife.
And if you broke up with someone, they said to you goodbye. They did not believe that you come back to listen for shows, because they saw the girls just as the guy's attachment. It sounds so rude. I know it sounds rude, but I'm sorry. This is
this is no. I agree completely. This is true. This is true. That was true back then. I don't know as you know, but back then was true.
I'm also talking about it, man. It's 15 years ago or something like that. It's
exactly.
And now I remember when I first saw videos of the band The Distillers and videos of the band
Dale. Oh my gosh.
Yes, and
I remember.
And videos of Walls of Jericho, and I was like, oh, you can do this as a woman as well. You can go on the stage and have the same like male attitude, like going there with big balls, you know?
Yes, and just do whatever you want.
Yes, and do your own thing and rule the stage. This was something completely new to me, and it blew my mind. And then I just realized that actually we can do this. We just have to open these doors. So I absolutely agree with you that doing this as a woman is so important, so that younger girls see that it is absolutely manageable. This is not the boys' game. It's not like that. Girls can do that as well. And that's why I think it's very important to be part of it. And you know, whenever it's a very important topic for me. So whenever I'm still doing this till today. Whenever we are doing a show here in my hometown, Budapest, I always try to have a support band where there is at least one female musician or singer or something like that, because I know that if we don't support each other, no one else will do that.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes, and of course, speaking about women, who are your influences? You mentioned like distillers, but
Yeah.
musically, you can say can be, I don't know, women, but as well, male singer in general. Who were your influences when you were a teenager? So they brought you where you are today.
I think like music wise, the first rock influence for me was the band The Offspring. That was the very first.
The very
Offspring and Queen.
Okay.
But because I have an older sister and we lived in the same room. So when she started to be a teenager, she listened this music in our room. So I was just
absorbing.
Exactly. I was absorbing that type of music. But later on, as I just said, when it comes to that, when I realized that I want to be part of it, it was absolutely the female singer, like Brody Dale, like Candice from Walls of Jericho. A little bit later, I'm still very impressed and inspired by the singer of Pretty Reckless, Taylor Momsen. I am like, I don't know, like actually it's really when it comes to singers, it's mostly women that inspired me. I'm also, like in my private, I really enjoy to listen to music with female voices. I don't know why. I just like it. This is not really a political statement.
No, I think it's something
it's just
personal.
about taste.
Of course. It's normal. You can relate that. And of course, I mean, Hellfreaks are going like really huge. I mean, like everywhere right now. But speaking a little bit about actual plans and live, because we know there is the album coming up. But as well, you're planning some live, some touring, some festival that you maybe we can see.
Yeah. Well, we are playing some festivals, and we are still working on a couple of club shows, but I just cannot reveal.
Okay. Only the things that you can say that are confirmed.
Oh yes. All I can say is that we are working on it.
That's amazing. So we will have the chance in 2023 or this next month to see you live somewhere.
I really hope so. And even though if we're not making it at your place now, we're definitely working on it to make it. Because for us, it's like the biggest, like for me, the feedback of fans is very important. And it doesn't matter if it's like digital or live, but when I can do this live, that is always something very special.
Yeah, that's amazing. And if you would really give an objective to Hellfreaks, what would it be? Like the music, like the message they want to send?
I think if it's just one adjective, I have to stick with energetic.
Energetic.
And
mind-blowing, I have to add. Mind-blowing, I have to add.
I know. I just, actually, I'm saying energetic because I just realized that so many people are listening us while they're at gym, and I'm like,
gym. I was listening while driving.
Yes. I'm also like I'm also going a lot to the gym, and I'm always listening metal music when I'm at the gym because
give you that
at the gym I often feel like I'm going to die right now.
And you need some boost.
Yes, and I need some boost. I need some extra power. I need some motivation. Someone who is shouting with me,
That's important.
So I think it's so cool that people are listening us our music for getting energized. So that's like cool.
But as well, like you speak about, for example, before about depression and anxiety. That let's say anxiety in general is something that people really can relate to that, and it's really important that nowadays, especially today in 2023, that when it's more, we can say, not more stigmatized as before when people have anxiety, and especially because in the teenager, in the young guys and girls, especially girls, which are all the times they don't want to show up their emotion. They feel maybe they are, in some kind of deficit. They feel wrong. Having something that we all have.
I don't want to say that it's harder to be a girl than a man. I don't want to say it as that. But I know that in the teenage years, there is the moment when you start, this is how I grew up, not by intense, it's not like that my mother forced me to anything, but these were the things that I get from the world that I have to have I have to look properly because it
Yeah.
matters how I look. It matters what I wear. If I don't smile, then
Well,
guys
what's
come
wrong
to
with
me,
you? Yeah.
What's
there's-
wrong with
yeah.
you? Exactly.
Well, maybe
If
you are
I-
just thinking, and there's nothing
yes,
wrong.
yes. Yes. Or I mean, just simple things that we were conditioned
Yeah.
to be perfect, to have the perfect mood, to look perfect. We were conditioned to that.
Yeah.
As long for the guys, it was more accepted for them to do failure, to do not
Yeah.
to not be
Just-
perfect.
I just
And,
have the friend female instead of having guys friend as friend
Yeah.
because it was weird back then. Now
Yeah,
it's more
yeah.
open-minded. Yeah, and
Yeah, I think this changed a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember.
Yeah.
We were talking about this, even with my parents. We were talking about this, and they said that like back then, when I was a teenager, like
Yeah.
going to, for example, a psychologist, that was something very like, oh no,
Yeah.
if they go there, then there is something wrong.
Exactly.
Nowadays, especially, I see it in my generation. Like
Yeah.
a lot of my friends go to a
there's
psychologist.
nothing wrong.
Yes, no, just for, they always say it like that, and I think this is amazing to describe it like that, for soul wellness.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It's just like when
Yeah.
when you go to take a coffee with a
Yeah.
friend or have a beer, you stay there.
Yeah.
Instead, you're talking with someone with study behind,
Yeah.
and maybe can give you a more specific advice for the mental health in this way.
Yeah.
So
So I think it's
yeah.
much more accepted. Luckily, it's much more
Yes.
accepted, and luckily we are talking about it, and it's not a no-go thing anymore.
no, it's completely something that really is normal. You wake up, I have anxiety. Okay, well, just listen some music and move on. Just something normal. It's then you can say something that doesn't need to be stigmatized anymore. But
Exactly.
before ending the interview, I want to, if you of course want just give an advice as well. Now I want to be more specific to young girls because there all the time I say to guys, if you want to give a musician an advice to younger musician, but especially young girls, then maybe they come from not only the metal scene, because young musicians that want to put out and maybe go and pursue this passion of music, can be even bass player, just artists. From your point of view, what advice would you give to them?
I think the most important thing, and what the point is, that most of the young girls, and also I, did not manage well, is that I know it's difficult, but you have to, the most important thing for you should be yourself. This sounds selfish, but as
No,
this
it's
is, I
true.
think, the most important thing. And if you can accept this and you don't feel ashamed because of that, then everything will get so much better, because you will not care that your hair is not perfect. You will not care that you like to dress like a boy, for example. You will not care what others think of yourself, if you accept that you are the most important one in the whole game. And this is not about being selfish. This is just about being healthy.
Yes, exactly. About being healthy. I mean, your advice really is looks like you're a psycholog, really, a therapist. No, we can say that Hellfreaks music Hellfreaks music is really therapeutic. We can say, really. That's just, if you have anxiety, put your last album, like like the sale advertising. If you have anxiety, instead of the benzodiazepine, we give the prescription of the first song, second song, third song.
Yeah, listen to some Hellfreaks, do some sport. That's also very good for your health.
Yes.
For your for your mental health, do some sport and take for you some me time. That's my recipe.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I have to really thank you. It was a pleasure to have a woman today and have a lovely chat, and especially you have a really motivation, and I love that.
Thank you.
See women in music and artists in any type of field like you. Wish you all the best for this album and a good rest of the day and time. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I really loved this conversation.
Me too.
It was really great to talk with you, and I hope to see you in the future. And have Have a
beer.
wonderful evening.
Yeah, you too.
Have a wonderful evening and a good beer.
Yeah, so like in Italian, have a cappuccino and coffee.
I think the Hungarian answer would be have a good glass of wine.
Perfect. See you soon. Have a good